Hello and welcome back. This is Seek, Gather and Create week 4, the final week for this round. And we asked you to find a window. I've got this vintage photograph with a window. A clock, I really wasn't sure. I found this old piece of art with a dandelion clock, but I really wasn't sure about that one. Something enchanted. I've just got this butterfly. I'm thinking I'm going to turn the girl in the photograph. And yellow green, I've got some pigment powder, some magicals. I'm starting out by cutting out the window. For each week in this round, I have been starting with a vintage photograph. And so I found this one with a window that was just perfect. For those of you that don't know, Seek, Gather and Create is an art scavenger hunt that I run over on my Instagram channel with my co-hosts Tina Hoyce and Laura Dennison. And each week, throughout a month, usually in the summer and the winter, we post 4 things for you to seek and gather, and you can create anything that you like with the 4 objects. And so this is the final week for this round, but we will be back again in the winter. It's always fun. It makes you think outside the box, maybe takes you out your comfort zone a little bit. This one really did this week because I just, with the something enchanted, the clock, I was really struggling this week. Overall, I'm happy how it turned out. So I'm just going to cut out the butterfly, and I was thinking about the clock. As you see, I didn't. I cut a slice down that girl's side and slopped my butterfly in, and I found an image of a clock in a magazine that I'm going to use instead, sort of peeping behind the window. But I played around with this for a long time. I quite liked the butterfly showing on the other side of the window. But then I played around with all sorts of different ways to put it together. I've just got a piece of little bit of calico here to add my yellow green. So I'm just taking some of my pigment powders. I sprayed the fabric with water, as you can see, and then I'm just sprinkling the pigment on and then letting it spread and dye the fabric. Just using a little bit more water to help it out. Giving it a dry. You see I've jumped to my journal here and I'm playing around now with how to put things together, whether I wanted the green and the clock behind the window or just the clock or just the green. It took a while of sort of just auditioning things around and deciding what it was that I wanted to do with it. I really like the image. I really like the wings on the girl. I thought that worked well. So I quite like this with the green and the clock, but then I quite liked the wings sort of peeping through the window as well. And then all combined, it just wasn't quite working for me. So that's quite nice, but it's not what I ended up with. I'm thinking, see, I quite like that wing, and so I think I go off and have a consider and come back to it. Placing it in all the different places to see what's going to work for it. I quite like the fabric as a little tab here, so that could work. I'll be back in a minute. So I come back with some words that I found from a book which worked really well with the enchanted theme, and I'm going to go with the clock hiding behind and the fabric as a tab. Made my decision, and now I'm just using a bit of my strong craft glue to stick it all down. Yep, that works well. Happy with that. So just getting some glue onto the photo. So I like the challenge because you just don't know how it's going to turn out, and sometimes it works, and sometimes it's a bit more of a struggle, like this one was. I've just got some glue left over on the back, so instead of wiping it off, I'm just grabbing some scraps of paper and just sticking that down and tearing it, so you end up with like a sort of torn edge showing through on the other side as well. Just wherever I had any leftover glue. Okay. And I'm going to take some needle and thread and stitch on my tab, just add a little bit more texture to it. I'm just going to do some little cross stitches. While I'm stitching away, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's taken part in this round. It's always fabulous to see everyone's work and to see everyone's different takes and interpretations of the prompts. So thank you, everyone. And it's not too late. There's no time limit. There's no sign up involved. It's free. So you can just head over to my Instagram channel and check out the prompts for each week, and you can still have a go even after the fact. Nearly there with my stitches. And the last thing I do, I think, is just grab my gesso out just to blend the photograph into the page just a little bit more. So yeah, having a think, and then grab my gesso and a brush, and I'm just going to just blend in this corner here underneath the wings. I think it just helps to make her stand out a little bit as well. I end up doing a few layers of that. And I think I also put some on the other side there, yeah, up at the top through the window. Just adding a bit of white space in. Another layer, just trying to cover up that dark of photo. So it was a tricky one. I think I ended up really keeping it quite simple with my different elements, but I'm happy with it. I think it works. Yeah, overall, I'm happy, and it came together okay in the end. So, with my 4 things, we've got the window, we've got the clock, we've got something enchanted, and the yellow green. All right. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you all next time. Take care, everyone. See you for now. Bye.